everybody, Pat Huntoon here with Technique Junkies, and today we're going to be making that beautiful mountain card, the Faith Can Move Mountains card that I showed you in the front of this tutorial. And it's very easy. It's similar to the video I've done on the landscape trees. This is just a faith card, but it's a little bit different in that we are using stamps from a Colorful Life Designs. I'm going to be using the Faith Can Move Mountains stamp. These are clear stamps specifically made to go along with the Mountain Edgers that we're going to be using today. I'm also showing you 3 additional Catherine Pooler inks. And of course, I do have kits with and without the ink. These inks they're from the life of the party. And I didn't have these online before, so those are new to us. So I'm going to be using 2 edgers here. I'm using Mountain Edger 1. And you notice I have tape up there already because I know what I want to do. And I'm using Mountain Edger 2. And I'm using the raise stencil to get that gorgeous raise look, and 3 blending brushes plus black, the Midnight Black ink to put the word on there. So let's get started. It's very simple. So today we are actually starting with a piece of cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And I'm not using the bottom. I'm going to be using the top of this stencil. I'm going to put it out a little more than 2/3 of the way up. So this edge is closer there. And now we're starting with the lightest ink. I have started with a darker ink before, but I just really like the idea of starting with a lighter ink because we can go over it with a darker ink. And I can also make additional mountains in the background. So we are doing purple. We're in the Smokies. So I'm going to do purple here. And I'm just pushing the ink, and we're using Serenade ink from Catherine Pooler. And I'm just literally pushing the ink down from the top. And then I'm going to actually leave that like that. And I am going to be just moving my cardstock over, and I'm going to hold that down a little bit with my fingertips and lightly do this one, and then very lightly in the middle because I know I will have dark purple over that. And then I want to just put maybe one more little hill here, one more mountain here, right there. Okay, so now we've got the first layer of mountains on there, and I'm going to remove that one and move it to the side. And let's put the focal image mountain on here. So this is the center mountain, and I'm not trying to center this, but I'm not being so particular about it not being anal about it, I guess. I'm just centering it the best I can. And we're using Catherine Pooler ink Catherine Pooler ink Drive-In. And I am going to be, again, starting at the top and pushing down all the way across the stencil this time. So one of the things I'm doing also is covering that gap that was underneath there because you wouldn't see that in nature. But I'm not going all the way down on this card. I'm just going to about here. And yes, you do see the brush strokes. When we put the sentiment on here, we will see the brush strokes a little bit. So I'm going to just soften them a little bit by circular motioning. Put a little more ink there. Okay, so these mountains are nice and dark. Look how dark those are. I think that's so pretty. And actually, that's all I'm using on that particular edger for that color. But now I'm going to take my mask here. I'm going to leave a little purple showing, just a tiniest bit, and tape down the bottom. And I'm going to be doing a similar thing with the bottom of the other edger, at least over here. Well, actually, I think I'm going to do it over here because this is where most of the yellow will be. So now I'm using Catching Rays, which is from the same grouping that I did the first one of. And I'm going to be using the Raise stencil. So this is the Raise stencil. It's great for so many things, but for using it for actual raise, it's actually a pretty nice stencil. So I'm just going to lay that down And I think I'll take that one too. And I know I'm not using pixie spray on these, and it's because I'm moving them so much. I just found that it's a little easier for me. Now I'm just going to put this right over the top, get down a little bit. And we're using Catching Rays with a blending brush. And with this one, I'm actually starting at the edge of the mountain and I'm pushing out. And I'm not going very far. I'm trying to avoid the big mountains along the edges. I don't really need this to be edge to edge. Remember, these inks are nice and juicy, so you only need to tap on the ink pad a little bit. Just a tiny little tap to pick up the ink. I'm staying away from the light purple mountains as much as possible. Okay, so that is on there. So let's peel that off. Oh, look at those rays. You can already see how pretty that is. And I want to show you one other thing that I did that I don't like, and I'm going to fix it right now because that's what it's all about. You fix it while you can. I do not like that these mountains, this purple on these edges didn't go all the way down. I don't like that there's white there. So I'm just going to put this right back over the top. And it really only affects here and here. And I'm going to take that Serenade back out again and very lightly just get the rest of the ink on there. Did that a little darker than I wanted, so I just want to make sure my coloring is even on these, or somewhat even. That's nice and even on there. Let's pull that off. And I have this beautiful card so far. So the very final thing I'm going to do is put the Faith Can Move Mountains on there from the stamp set. So I have this, going to use my Misty and the Midnight Black ink, and I'll be right back. Just a reminder with this Midnight Black ink, it is a very wet ink. So when you are touching a fine stamp like this, you just want to kiss it very lightly to get your black. Oh, look how perfect that is. Okay, one last thing that I'm going to do, and this is totally optional for you, of course, is I'm going to take this brush, which had the yellow on it, and I'm just going to push some yellow up just to give it a little coloring around this edge, this bottom edge. I just think it finishes it a little bit. It's just a tiny little bit. Okay, so that's our tutorial today. It's quick, it's easy. You saw me do it in real time. I will just literally be taking cardstock and putting it behind here, and this is the finished product. I think it is so pretty and such a gorgeous card to express your faith. I hope you liked this tutorial today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube and consider subscribing to the Technique Junkie channel on YouTube, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching today. Bye now.